was observed, I'd like to say Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Okay, looking at trends, in the recent past, he was a hacker and a scammer. So every day he went to work, after work, he scammed elderly women on a different time zone. For some reason, he needed to do that. And he also made sure he had a fake bank account so that he could show her.
Why women only?
Because I'm the guy, you want me. Right?
Okay.
So when he gets over to hold it up again, somehow gets the money out of her and runs. And the question we asked him was, out of 10 targets, how many did you get? He says on a bad day, you get
नहीं
only
ठीक है
4.
सेम बात है
But normally 6 out of 10 people scam. And that's quite scary because when I listen to the lady talks about shared responsibility, human being being the weakest link, I fully agree. And I don't believe people that are scammed are stupid. I'm a scammer. And I found it quite weird because I sell and what happened with me is that I was in government, let me say, was giving everybody money during the lockdown, and they gave us something like 150 bucks. 2 months later, the scammers realized that, oh, everybody was happy with that now. So they started sending out these, we're giving again, this time it's 600. And I was working on a project, so my husband said to me, oh, gee, you're giving money again. Oh, that's pretty cool. And I didn't look at it. So he went, he followed the instructions, and then he talked about the DigiPass. He said to me, for some reason, it's not going past the DigiPass signing facility. And it's dragging. He said, look, I'm going to try again. And he did try again.
Well, you are already a digital forensic expert.
Exactly. But when we talk about responsibility, I think it was my responsibility to educate my husband and everybody else around me that check the address of the sender, check, normally it's bad English and stuff like that, then you know it's a scam. So even when I was talking about looking for other scams, I was talking about Black Friday. I think that's it.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. So the scammers are always looking at the opportunity to cheat. I might fall. The thing is that you look at it and say, oh, it's got 200 euro, I'm paying 20 euro, and make 3 euro shipment. So even if it's a scam, take a chance. But what he doesn't even want to get, he wants your bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
So if people doesn't be more aware of how you can scam, and that's what we're doing. Otherwise, regarding the British society thing, I think it's pretty cool that everybody, I think worldwide, we're all trying to be
Put your mic, I think, closer.
We're all trying to go digital, right? Awareness training, selling to people that yes, it's pretty cool that you go to the bank or even into a shop and just pay with a BB. But if you drop that down, so can I give you a card?
Exactly.
So the pros and cons, right? But I think it's pretty cool that Pakistan, I think they make a lot of efforts into being precise.
Thank you very much. Okay, can you please mic? Pass the mic. Okay, my next question is with Mr. Jawan. My question is that you are working in financial sector since long, and you know that in Pakistan we are now talking about digitalization. We want to be paperless in almost all domains. So what do you think, what are the risk factors involved when we move towards digitalization, and how financial sector can combat those risks?
Thank you, Dr. Zunera, for having me in for highlighting the risk pertaining to the financial sector. The thing is, the internet economy we are talking about, this is around $30 trillion US dollars economy right now. Because I'm traveling, I think just my breathing, so that I can ask this question because I can do it.
Okay, I'll ask you a question.
No problem at all.
Okay, Mr. Azza, I have a question for you. You are already running a company successfully and providing a number of services. So what do you think that, what is the future of cybersecurity industry in Pakistan? And do you think that our existing efforts in cybersecurity for R&D and for product development are sufficient if we move towards digitalization?
Yes, absolutely. It's a very bright future in Pakistan for cybersecurity. And when I say that it's a bright future, there is another aspect of looking at it, looking at this industry, which is where we say that it's kind of a pandemic situation where we are in. Because of the threat landscape is evolving, it is changing, and it is definitely hurting our national and also the private institutes as well. As you would know, that 4 or 5 years before, we were only experiencing the cyber attacks. Mostly, we were experiencing the cyber attacks in the financial institutions or in the, I would say, towards our SME sector. But now, in the last 5 years, we have seen trends where our national grids have been affected. Our sophisticated institutes have been basically targeted, and then at the same time, the OT environments that we have across our country, whether it is electricity generating grid or it is a petroleum storage plant, they have been affected. So from the business point of view, for companies like us, there is a good future, it's a bright future, but at the same time, it is very important. It is something which we have to be taking care of very, I would say, not from the monetary point of view, but from the ethical point of view, it has to be taken care of, by adding a lot of social services like awareness, which is the key element to educating our customers and clients and as well as the general public towards the business.
Coming from the financial sector, I've been representing the financial sector for the last 15 to 18 years. I've been witnessing whole ups and downs with respect to the regulations, with respect to the financial industry. As of now, we talk about digitalization. Within this pandemic, we have witnessed pandemic for the last 2 years, for the past 2 years. This pandemic economy is up to $30 billion. Now we are talking about $20 billion as of now. The thing is, coming to Pakistan, the same phenomenon goes over here. For the COVID, we are going for online transactions, we are buying or purchasing things. This really increase the digitalization across the payment side, right? And for this thing, the whole phenomena of cybercrime goes up as well. Now, moreover, it's a flip side of the coin. Digitalization matters as well, and crime goes up as well, right? Second more thing which came later, as the come later, banks, the financial industry, more of the victim from the cybercrime side, right? The thing is, we are really combating, we are really fighting, the regulator is fighting to curb the crime out of it. Now, the cybercrime market, we are anticipating this market goes up to $10 billion by 2025, right? The thing is, we are adopting latest technologies, now the criminals are adopting latest technologies. We are now facing, as a banks, people are getting victimized with social engineering. People are getting fake calls, they are showing that they are coming from the unknown agencies, your partner bank.
In our financial sector, although it's not very stable yet, we are a developing country. So the little financial sector we have, we need to protect it, and our utmost effort should be placed to protect it.
Exactly. Zunera told about I've been part of this industry from back in 2006, right? Being a part of this industry, State Bank, our regulator, they the cybersecurity culture among financial industry, right? We have been witnessed the hack of Swift hack, which was occurred back in 2015. State Bank wake up, said no. The cybersecurity guys, cybersecurity is utmost importance within the financial industry because if people trust banks to put their money into it. Once trust is gone, banking and financial industry stand nowhere. That's why State Bank and we people are quite stringent to take cybersecurity very seriously. Now, the most powerful thing is now our boards, our management is quite tech savvy now. They really think upon, they really study to invest on cybersecurity as well. I think for future, for cybersecurity in financial industry is quite good. Thanks,
And I think that's the most important area because FIA published a book, cybercrime booklet last year, and in that booklet they identified top 10 crimes in Pakistan, and financial crime is at number 1
Yes.
in that. So financial sector need to be focused, especially.
One more thing, I briefly tell you that now banks have quite stringent controls at everywhere. Now, the problem we are facing that one more thing we talk about, people get victimized by the calls. Someone call that your account has been blocked, your ATM has been blocked, your account come into the FATF or anti-money laundering transactions. Kindly give this information. Kindly do not give any information to such kind of calls. Bank never ever call you to get the information. Banks have already have your information.
But I think we have lack of awareness, and recently
Yes,
I
lack
can
of
see a lot of
awareness, yes.
efforts from by your bank as well. Astri Bank has also initiated a number of campaigns where they are making their users, their customers aware about the scams that can happen to them.
Yeah, but more interesting thing, I take this as a responsibility of mine. I went to many forums. I went to the local mosque and teach people around that please don't give your personal or financial information
That's what
to anyone.
at the individual level you can do.
Yeah, for my level, I can do this by responsibility. I take this part. You can educate your surroundings, your peers, your
I think
families.
that's a collective joint responsibility
Yes.
of us, all the people who are working in cybersecurity, to make the people who are around us aware about the crimes that
Exactly,
can happen.
it's a responsibility as well.
Okay. I want to answer a question of Mr. Asad Effendi as well. You said that we need to have educational programs. So at Air University, we are already having cybersecurity education programs, and we are actually trying to fill the gap of capacity building, so that we can have a workforce, and also we are trying to make it industry ready. So when they finish their education, particularly at undergrad level, as soon as they graduate, they should be industry ready, so that we do not have to wait for one or 2 years, so that they become a useful resource for industries. That's our focus right now.
Absolutely, and it all praises to the academy in Pakistan, like yourself. They are doing a wonderful job. I remember 4 years back, I was sitting in Henry University, and they were planning to start their cybersecurity, masters in cybersecurity in 2018, if I remember it correctly. And at that time, there was a tremendous gap between the academy and the industry. So not only in Pakistan, the good cybersecurity resources, researchers, incident responders, forensics experts, there is a global shortage for these resources. So if we as Pakistan, anyways, we have been leading most of the time in the IT industry when it comes to software development, mobile application development. So if our academia is now building up this, bridging this gap, I'm very certain that in a few years down the line, we'll be seeing a lot of manpower export in terms of cybersecurity as well.
Exactly. And fortunately, the government has been much supportive, like National Cybersecurity Academy. We are happy that we are going to launch the MS Digital Forensics and MS in Cryptology program at Air University from the Forum of National Cybersecurity Academy. So this is one of the initiatives which we have taken, and we have many plans in our mind that in the next few years, 2 to 3 years, we are going to have many more cybersecurity education programs.
True, absolutely, and I'm as I said, I'm certain that in 2 to 3 years down the line, this will be, the potential in the industry and as well as the gaps will be bridged. So it will be a collective effort from both the academy and the industry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Hassan Islam. So I was waiting to talk to you, and I have asked you. I'm going to ask you a question at the end, so we can have ample time. You have a vast experience in cybersecurity, 24 years of experience in cybersecurity. That's much. So I think your stance on the evolving nature of cyber crimes in Pakistan, we would love to hear that.
Thank you very much. Before developing into my answer, I would like to distinguish between the 3 confusing terms. So let's be clear over 3 terms, then I will try to explain what Dr. Zunera has asked. First of all, we have to understand what is a crime. Crime is an act which has 3 properties. It is harmful, 1. Second, it is detectable. Third, it is punishable under some law. If an activity fulfills these three characteristics, then we can say it is a crime. Now coming to the cybercrime. Cybercrime is a crime which happens with the use of a computer technology and it uses a space, cyberspace. Then you can categorize it as a cybercrime. Now coming to the cyber attack, because we interchangeably use these terms, cybercrime and cyber attack. Cyber attack falls under the umbrella of cybercrime. An action which is harmful, executed through a technology and has used a cyberspace that is a cyber attack. So these, first let's be clear over these three terms. Now coming to how this thing will evolve with the digitization processes. First of all, if you see my definition, when I have looked at the literature and bit of research, the first target now hackers and activities they are doing is to manipulate the law. They are trying to bypass the law, they are trying to execute the action in a way they are not detectable, they are not punishable, and they are not recordable. But at the same time, they are harmful. I can give you an example. For example, a person develop a software who can give you the remote access, and he doesn't do anything with that. Now that, product can be used both ways, positively and negatively, but you cannot categorize it as a crime. But once it will be used for the positive purposes, it will serve as a positive function. And if it is used as a negative person, maybe to get a remote access from a system, that will be crime. So the evolution of cybercrime is the first priority, or they can manipulate the processes. And in order to circumvent these crimes, as Mr. Zal was also mentioning in lecture, we have to have a very strong governance framework. Second, what is the most valuable thing for a hacker? That is obviously the data. Data is our next wealth. So a ransomware is coming into action in much more a lethal form. The problem what we face with the data is who is the owner of the data, who is the custodian of the data, who is the user of the data. So who is going to initiate a report once a cyber crime related to the data occurs? So that is a big confusion. For example, maybe you can take the example of your own organization. You have a database server, you have one DB admin who has access to the database server. One is the developer who is using this database machine to store his data, and then the OS server is system admin. So once everything happens, who is going to report, who is going to initiate, who is going to be held responsible for some malicious activity. So that is the third thing. Second thing, a hacker is going to utilize how to manipulate among these three platforms of a system. The third dimension of evolution is the identity. Identity is no more identity impersonation. It is no more identity theft. So you must have seen different videos floating over the network. People are replacing faces, people are replacing, fingerprints. So identity access management is going to be the third target of the hackers. And so these are the three things. And fourth thing, you must have heard cyber warfare. Now there is the terminology coming up, that is a cyber gang warfare. So instead of a war between the countries, now it's like a gang, which usually happen in the road, that is going to be happening in the internet. And then fifth thing is giving some tasks on a contact basis. Like one group is hiring another group to carry out some malicious activity in their part. So these are the 5 dimensions over which our cyber crime we are evolving.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hassan. Okay, my next question is from all of you, anyone can answer. So far in cybersecurity, we have talking about incident detection, and almost everybody is talking about incident detection and developing solutions, using different solutions for incident. But don't you think that incident response is equally important? And so far, incident response is a neglected area. And if we do incident response, focus on incident response, then we can reduce cyber crimes more effectively.
I will take the initiative again for this because I've been teaching since incident response, and my last two biggest, two Pakistan largest organizations, both in tech. What I observed, incident response is totally neglected. It wasn't there, or it was overlaid with multiple other rules. If you see from the NIST standard, incident response has two phases. First is the preparation phase. Second is the identification phase. Third is the containment phase. Then we have an eradication phase. Then we have the response, and then we have the learning phase. And if you see the first phase, that is totally based on your risk management. And then we have detection, response, and something like that. If your risk management is good enough, thorough, and after happening of some incident, you have learned a lesson, and lesson always has a feedback. Feedback in terms of improvement of the controls, feedback in terms of the training and awareness. So ultimately, it is going to reduce the happening of the crimes in your institutes, and it will also help you proactively in taking care of the incident which you haven't seen. So my take is on this question is that incident response must be taken as a control, critical control, and instead of hiding, closing your eyes, phenomenal light from that, you must give a dedicated, explicit responsibility to that.
Okay,
It
thank
will
you.
definitely help.
You want to add something?
Yeah, let me add it over here. Second to Dr. Hassan, what he said. What I believe is that for the financial sector, we truly believe on incident response. Although we are evolving, for this sector, incident response teams are there. We work 24/7 to monitor, to eradicate, to respond to any such kind of activities which are happening around to our financial sector, right? Now, second one, we are talking about the collective incident response, which is missing over there. We are being a part of the steering committee of national cert as well. At the national level, we are trying to strive for the certs, sectoral cert being a part of the financial industry and also the part of the financial cert initiative as well. The thing is, for that reason, there are two dimensions of it, right? One dimension is we have to respond an incident at the bigger level, at the national level, and the sectoral level. The thing is, for the financial sector, because of the regulator, again it's the regulator which points us that we have to have an incident response team running on. There is no choice to have no.
Yes, recently we can see that many developments are going on, and many recent advancements, like we have heard about CERTs and we have heard about different policies which are getting made and getting published. This just happened in last 2-3 years. So this is an achievement that we are collectively working towards the common goal.
One more thing, after the publication of cybersecurity policy of Pakistan, which derives the initiative of national certs and sectoral certs. One more thing, cert rules for the whole Pakistan is coming out for which depicts or will define what kind of incident response going to take place for the government sector, for the defense sector as well. But it can. That is a framework for whole of the sectors to follow on.
Okay, it's good that many things are coming up, but I still feel that the pace needs to be increased.
Yes, for that reason, let me tell you guys, we are at the number for the last report from the ITU, which has a cybersecurity index for whole of the nations. We stand at 79 for the last year 2020 report. After the publication of cybersecurity policy from 93rd position, we land up to 79th position, right? I think with these steps, we can improve our cybersecurity posture for the whole nation.
Exactly. And when I go to my class and see my students, I see a lot of potential. And when I see that we are on 79th, I still feel that we can be somewhere less than 50. In very less amount of time, we
yes, I've been, Dr. Zunera, I've been witnessing since I'm a graduate of computer science. I landed up into, unfortunately, I landed up to cybersecurity back in 2003 when people started working on security in
the
Pakistan.
cybersecurity term was just coined at that time.
Yes. The thing is, now we have graduated. I've seen for the last 5-6 years, programs are coming up. That a university came up with the laudable efforts while starting an MS, PhD, and bachelor program in cybersecurity. Research is going on. This is on there, and different universities are coming up with the specialized programs. I think we are late, but not that late. I believe while part of cyber hackathons, Ignite, and the part of it,
Exactly, and I'm just happy to see that many are now organizing hackathons, and it's become a regular
you
practice
see
now.
what sort of talent we have. A guy, I was in Karachi last week. I witnessed a guy who is a lawyer. That guy beated all of the CS and computer science graduates. That's a talent. Last year, I met a boy who is just 12th grade cleared only, running a mobile shop. He beaten the mobile.
So it means we don't have a shortage of talent.
Yeah.
We have a huge potential with us. We just need to tap those potentials.
Yes, exactly. I think Asad Avanti mentioned, we are the power we tend to have. We have today lies, but our strengths, right? We have to pump the right skill set, right human resource to the world to generate, to give back in sort of dollars or remittances or stuff like that. After that, after serving abroad, come back, serve Pakistan, go back. I think this is a solution of it. I think we have to realize our strengths first.
Exactly.
Then we have to think afterwards.
Okay. Okay, my last question with Ms. Dean Datta. So since you have already worked in the field of forensics for last 20 years, and you must have used different forensic solutions as well. So what do you think, what is the gap or what is the area where digital forensic researchers in Pakistan need to work on or worldwide need to work on now?
It's an evolution, right? It keeps changing, so I wouldn't say this is the black text you should follow. But I mean, it changes all the time. Like for instance, at Deloitte, we stopped doing phone forensics. Ask me why?
Why? Really? I'm surprised that you stopped doing.
Because we had a case or two a year. It wasn't worth the license. That was one. Secondly, people like Apple are putting iCloud passwords.
Okay, so you think that you stopped using mobile phone forensics over there?
No, we're not collecting. We'll focus on e-discovery. Because if you don't give me your iCloud password, I can't get it.
Exactly.
And Apple will not help me get it. Because Apple now is actually, I think with iOS 9, they've actually got to delete the memory of the phone automatically after the 10th attempt of trying to put in the password. So what's the point? I mean, if I don't give you my password, you can't get it.
Exactly. So how you're doing? So because many of the crimes happen through your mobile devices.
I agree, but we look for information also. You just have to, I mean,
So you are going towards cloud forensic then?
Yeah, most of it is in the cloud. And I think with Microsoft itself, the tools within a package that can do forensics as well.
Okay.
But obviously, a long time ago, it was easier. People didn't even know when you use a file, it doesn't disappear. But now everybody's clever. Everybody's smarter. Everybody's using techniques. So you just need to be a little bit smarter. You need to look into steganography. You need to look into encryption. We don't do brute force decryption. It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time and resources as well.
Exactly. We'll tell you 50,000 hours. I haven't got that kind of time.
Exactly. So do you think the cloud service providers need to provide forensic as a service with their services and it should be made mandatory? For the crimes which are happening through over the cloud, the data which is kept on the cloud. So forensic as a service should be mandatory for cloud service providers. So you want to say something? I think yours.
At one point,
I kind of agree. I think I would go for that as well. As a service, yes, because they've got access to the data.
Because we say that we are not going to use this cloud unless we get forensic as a service. Because if we will have forensic as a service, so an investigator can request a cloud service provider, and then we can have a standard framework or platform for that.
Exactly. I agree with you.
So you want to say something?
one more point I just not mentioned. We have a boy over here who's also very talented. That is Adan. He surprised me. He was working. He's trying to work on quantum cryptography, right?
Yeah, I remember
Yes,
he was here in
he won
Pakistan
the Cyber Challenge workshop which was held
He was
here.
here in July this year.
I think we have the men's talent for the cybersecurity. thanks to a university and the faculty and the whole management, which is really supporting and nurturing this talent, right? I think our future is brighter. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, thank you very much. So with this, I'm just going to close this panel discussion. Thank you very much, Ms. Neem Daka. You came all the way from Belgium and just gave us an opportunity to talk to you. Thank you, Mr. Jawad. Thank you, Afidi Saab. Thank you, Dr. Hassan. And with this, I'm going to deliver a closing note for day one. We really had a good technical talks and keynotes, and it was a very informative sessions all the way. Now we are going to proceed towards tea breaks, and also the day two is about paper presentations and workshops from different labs of NCCS. So tomorrow we are going to start at 9, and it will be another informative day for everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today.